Hello everyone and welcome back. If you guys do not watch the videos on the Northern Seclusion channel, you haven't seen the SAP evaporator that I made this year. I've tapped the maple trees, birch trees, and box elder trees on this channel and just did it on the kitchen stove at the hobby farmhouse. But now up here at the farmhouse, I tapped more trees. I think I've collected somewhere around 200 gallons of sap, and we've made the syrup several times, just different batches. But yeah, the first thing, I had this old yellow barrel, and then I made that into a SAP evaporator. I saw this one like it online, and I thought, you know what, I can make this. And once I got that done, the sap started coming, and I would just go out there. When I'm here, I'll go out there every single afternoon or evening and collect all the sap. And it's worked really well. There are some changes for next year because I only have 26 taps out there this year, and there's an additional at least 50, probably closer to 60 more trees that I can tap. So I would need a bigger operation. And so Zach and I were talking, and I think next year I might make one out of an old, like a 275 gallon oil tank, and then do a totally different pan. Because I've learned a lot. I mean, I boiled before, but I've really learned a lot more about the chemistry of how it all works and everything. And knowing that, and I know that if I were to have more trees tapped, I could never keep up. As it is this year, I probably could have gotten more sap, but we've been able to keep up. Now this is the very end of this batch for today. This will be, let's see, I've got 29 gallons that I boiled down today, and we're getting towards the end of it here. But next year, if I want to do a bigger operation, I'm going to want to have like a 2-foot by 6-foot pan and just a bigger evaporator, and then lay out the stove inside differently so the heat kind of comes up under the pans. It's been really interesting and really fun. This pan here ends up being more of the warming pan, even though it boils in here too. And this is the one that hard boils. And now I'm just about to take the end of the sap here and pour it into this one. And then I'm going to put water in here to keep it from burning the pan out because I have nothing more to put in here. this now. There's probably, I don't know, close to 2 inches in there. When it gets down to about 1 inch, then I will have to start checking the temperature on it. I want it to get to 216 degrees, then I'm going to dump it out and filter it, and then bring it inside and finish it off to get it up to the 219 to 220. For me this year, it's been running right at 220 before my hydrometer reads that it's perfect for syrup, and I don't see why today would be any different. So far this season, I have been pretty consistently almost right on that 40-to-1. So every 40 gallons of sap, I'll pull 1 gallon of syrup. And for the majority of it, I've been putting it in half-pint jars, just so I can see there's been a big color variation between first batch and last batch, and different types of boiling that, if you just keep adding and adding and adding to that back one, it's definitely going to darken up. And anyway, like I said, this has been a really good learning experience for me and very enjoyable. I was just explaining in the last video on northern seclusion that I was reading an article about doing the sap like this, and I was filling these up so they're like 5.5 inches of sap in here. And if you keep it down to 2 inches, when the bubble forms on the bottom, it comes up through the sap, or even when you're boiling water, whatever, and the bubble cools before it gets to the surface. So when it opens, it releases less steam. Well, if you keep it shorter, that bubble can burst quicker. So today I've been doing that, and I really did see a difference in how fast you can boil it down, as long as you keep the fire hot. That's just one thing. If I'm inside doing something, I might come out here and it might be at a slow boil and I got to add more wood. But if you really keep it going, you can really save a lot of time by keeping that pan about 2 inches full. The smaller pieces of wood that you put in there, and if you can put them in kind of a crisscross shape, you get the most amount of heat. I even made a stand to hold my filter because I was having such a hard time at first, and I didn't have time to order one, and I didn't feel like spending the money on one, so I made it out of a $1.99 tomato cage that I just yanked out of the garden. I'm just getting an initial reading here with my thermometer. I know I'll have a ways to go, but I want to see if it's went up above 212 or not yet. I don't think it has, but... Right now we're boiling at 213. It jumped up to 213.5 for a second. Once you get to this point, it doesn't take long to jump from this to 216, and you need to get it off there and get it filtered. Well, we just hit 216. Okay everyone, well thanks a lot for watching. I just kind of wanted to throw a review of my homemade SAP evaporator and how it's working. And it's been working really good. I will see you guys on the next video.